Overview of Canada. Canada is a country filled with endless possibilities. Canada is a great place to study, and education in Canada leads to job and business opportunities, as well as a life in Canada after graduation. Canadian degrees and diplomas are internationally recognized, and tuition fees are among the lowest among English-speaking countries. Canada provides overseas students with an educational experience that is difficult to match. Academic brilliance, affordability, career opportunities during and after study, a pathway to permanent residence, and a safe living environment are just a few reasons why Canada is one of the top 10 study abroad destinations. Canada is the world's second largest country by area, with a total area of 9,984,670 square kilometers. It is nearly the same size as all of Europe combined. Canada is located in the top half of North America, sharing a southern border with the United States. Most Canadians live in one of Canada's 10 provinces and 3 territories, with Ontario accounting for about 35% of the population, followed by Quebec at 23%, British Columbia at 13%, and Alberta at 12%. Ottawa, Ontario is Canada's capital city. Toronto, Ontario, Montreal, Quebec, and Vancouver, British Columbia are the 3 largest and most widely renowned metropolitan cities in the country, all of which are in the top 20 list of QS World University's best student cities. Temperatures can vary wildly across Canada due to its vast size and physical environment. Many parts of Canada have harsh winters, with temperatures ranging from -15 degrees Celsius or 5 degrees Fahrenheit to -30 degrees Celsius or -22 degrees Fahrenheit. Winters are much milder by the coast, such as in British Columbia. Summers are hot with temperatures ranging from 20 degrees Celsius or 70 degrees Fahrenheit to 30 degrees Celsius or 86 degrees Fahrenheit, with temperatures occasionally topping 40 degrees Celsius or 104 degrees Fahrenheit. In all sections of the country, there are 4 seasons, with summers and winters of varying length. Winters in many parts of Canada, for example, southern Ontario and southern British Columbia, are milder than in many parts of the United States, for example, Minnesota, North Dakota. Cold weather is simpler to handle with adequate attire than severely hot temperatures. We can always add another layer of clothing to feel warmer when we're outside, but we can't do much if it's too hot. Indoors, climate control is available everywhere in Canada. Retail malls, public transit, and so on. Many newer automobiles have technology that allows them to warm up before you get in, and many have heated seats. Indoors, the temperature is normally set to around 21 or 22 degrees Celsius. Because all Canadian houses and offices have central heating and air conditioning, families may modify the temperature to their liking at any time. Canada's multiculturalism has made it a popular destination for overseas students who want to be away from their families and homes. Canadians are proud of their cultural diversity as well as their rich history. There are laws in existence to protect all people from discrimination, regardless of their circumstances. 1/5 of Canada's population, of approximately 37 million people, is made up of immigrants from all over the world. The official languages of Canada are English and French, albeit English is spoken by the majority of the population. The varied Canadian populace also speaks nearly 200 other languages. Mandarin, Cantonese, Punjabi, Spanish, Italian, Dutch, Ukrainian, Arabic, German, and Tagalog are the languages spoken most often after English and French. Even though international students spend most of their time in class, the weather can have a considerable impact on how much they like studying abroad. Although it is beneficial to prepare for all 4 seasons, Statistics Canada reports that 66% of Canadians reside within 100 kilometers of the Canadian-US border, which implies that the majority of schools are located in areas with a more moderate environment. Students who move further north are rewarded with a clear, sunny sky all year and long days throughout the summer. Locals and visitors alike look forward to the midnight sun in various settlements in the Northwest Territories, Yukon, and Nunavut. Students also have easy access to some of Canada's most magnificent scenery, as well as greater space to enjoy them due to the lower local population. Smaller northern or maritime municipalities also have dedicated immigration incentives, which is another advantage of studying there. International students who have received job offers from organizations in specified fields after graduation may be eligible for settlement assistance. In comparison to inland settlements, coastal cities like Vancouver and Victoria on the west coast and Halifax, Montcalm, and St. John's on the east coast have historically had gentler summer and winter temperature swings. However, while the oceanfront position is lovely, it might also mean a lot more rain. Vancouver experiences 192 rainy days on average per year, or about 52% of the time. Gray skies can be difficult for some students, but the good news is that coastal winters are often milder, so students who conduct fieldwork or have an outside component to their studies will need to bundle up less. The climates of Ontario and Quebec are diverse, with the Great Lakes influencing many of them. The lake effect benefits much of southern Ontario, making summers cooler and winters milder than in other regions of the province. This lake effect also promotes growth on neighboring farmland, making Ontario a good choice for agriculture and agri-food students. The official languages of Canada are English and French. In many places of Canada, though, English is far more widely spoken. There are French-speaking schools throughout as well. However, children who wish to become fluent in French will do best in New Brunswick or Quebec. It's also worth considering your ties to your native tongue. If attending religious or cultural services in your first tongue is essential to you, schools in larger areas may be a better option. You can also learn about community demographics by using tools like Statistics Canada. Similarly, if one of your goals is to develop your language abilities, consider studying in a smaller community where services in languages other than English or French are less likely to be available. While Canada's population density is low in comparison to other study abroad destinations, such as the United States and the United Kingdom, it provides academic possibilities in cities of all sizes. Explore the following options as you consider study abroad options. Do you think you'll live on or off campus? What interests and activities would you wish to maintain or begin while living away from home? Is it important to live in a city with a vibrant nightlife? Would you rather have access to sports such as riding outside? Or do you wish to have access to both? Do you intend to work part-time while pursuing your studies? If that's the case, what kind of employment are you hoping to apply for? How important is it to have access to food that meets dietary requirements or limitations? For example, halal or kosher. The size of a community has an impact on the cost of living. While sources estimate that the average international post-secondary student spends 12,000 Canadian on living expenditures per year, students in big cities such as Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver often pay greater tuition and daily expenses. However, for some students, the extra expense is justified since they are enrolled in a specific program or have access to unique work-integrated learning opportunities. It can be difficult to decide where to study abroad. However, if you take these variables into account, you'll be more likely to find one in a Canadian town that meets your requirements. Why study in Canada? Canada is a popular tourist destination. The country is known for being friendly, multicultural, and have a high standard of living at a low cost of living. It constantly ranks well in livability polls. Canadians are known around the world for their friendliness, and with 1 out of every 6 citizens born outside the country, they're also recognized for their diversity. Canada is often regarded as one of the best countries in the world for students. Furthermore, the Canadian government post-graduation work visa program is one of the most liberal in the world. Many government programs, in fact, encourage graduates to stay in the country and work in the local sector. With 80% of its inhabitants living in cities, Canada is one of the most urbanized countries. Vancouver, Toronto, and Montreal are the 3 largest cities. Canada, one of the world's largest countries by land mass, is located in North America and offers a wide range of sporting activities, scenic excursions, vibrant cities, and a diversified culture to people from all walks of life. 3 Canadian cities were among the top 10 most livable cities in The Economist 2017 ranking of the world's most livable cities. Vancouver was 3rd, Toronto was 4th, and Calgary was 5th. Canada's healthcare, education, environment, stability, and infrastructure all are world-class. Canada's capital, Ottawa, has 2 official languages, English and French, which adds to the country's cosmopolitan flavor. Although the majority of the people prefer to live in Canada's cities, the wild landscapes provide something for everyone. From the Pacific Rim's jagged shoreline to lush tropical rainforests, hot deserts, cowboy country badlands, breathtaking blue lakes, and sweeping granite mountains, Canada has a lot to offer. In Canada, ice hockey is like a religion. Hockey, which originated in England, has been transferred to the icy lakes of Canada, where Canadian athletes have won 6 Winter Olympics: 1976, 1984, 1987, 1991, 2004, and 2016 are only a few examples. Maple syrup on pancakes, bacon, or cupcakes is a tradition that many people enjoy. The sweet syrup is created from sap from a maple tree, whose leaves become a rich red in the autumn. It can be found in most Canadian kitchens. Canada currently produces 71% of the world's maple syrup. It is no surprise that Canada is one of the most popular destinations for international students, attracting over 300,000 new international students each year thanks to low tuition fees, high-quality institutions, and the ability to work while studying. Post-study work and immigration opportunities, and friendly people. Canadian Bureau for International Education's 2018 International Student Survey indicates that 93% of students are satisfied with their educational experience in Canada. The quality of a Canadian education is one of the main reasons students opt to come to Canada. Degrees and diplomas from Canada are commonly regarded as equivalent to those from the United States, Australia, and the United Kingdom. International rankings typically position Canadian institutions and colleges in the top 10. In fact, 17 Canadian universities are among the top 500 universities in the world. According to the QS World University Rankings in 2020, many other respectable publications, such as the Times Higher Education World University Rankings and Shanghai Rankings Academic Ranking of World Universities, place them in the top 100. Education is highly valued in Canada. The federal government of Canada invests a lot in the educational system. As a result, Canada has one of the highest rates of post-secondary education completion among OECD member countries, 61%. Canadian teachers, professors, and researchers are among the best qualified academic professionals in the world. Canada attracts excellent foreign scholars due to its investments in cutting-edge research in disciplines such as medical science, pharmaceuticals, information technology, and artificial intelligence. Not only is Canadian education one of the best in the world, but it is also one of the most cost-effective. Tuition costs and general living expenses in Canada are generally lower than in the United States, United Kingdom, and Australia. The average cost of a university undergraduate education in Canada for an international student is about $30,000 per year, which includes tuition and living expenses. The cost of living in the United States is $36,564, Australia $42,093, and the United Kingdom $35,045 are all considerably higher. Canada has topped the best countries ranking for quality of life for the 4th year in a row as of 2019. Canadians are generally happier and more satisfied with their life than people in other countries, according to polls and studies. Canada ranks 6th in the world in terms of customer satisfaction, ahead of the United States, the United Kingdom, Germany, France, and Australia, according to the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, the OECD. Another important reason why students choose to study in Canada is personal safety. International students and their parents can rest confident that Canada is one of the world's safest countries. Canada is ranked in the top 20 safest countries in the world in the 2019 Global Finance Survey, with over 82% of Canadians feeling safe strolling at night. According to the Institute for Economics and Peace's 2019 Global Peace Index, Canada is one of the top 10 most peaceful countries in the world. Canada is a welcoming country with a distinct Canadian culture that promotes multiculturalism and encourages variety. In reality, Canada was the first government to declare multiculturalism as an official policy in 1971. Immigrants are the lifeblood of Canada's economy. A quarter of the population of Canada was either born abroad or to immigrant parents. South Asians, Chinese, Africans, Caribbeans, Filipinos, Latin Americans, Arabs, South Asians, West Asians, and Koreans are the top 10 largest visible minority groups in Canada. According to a census poll, the country has more than 10 religions and 200 languages. Diwali, Chinese New Year, Caravana, Eid, and St. Patrick's Day are just a few of the international festivals and events that Canadians celebrate. Canada's hospitable populace and vibrant ethnic atmosphere make it an ideal home away from home for international students. One of the factors used by prospective international students to choose their education destination is the ability to work while studying. International students enrolled in a full-time post-secondary program at a designated learning institute, DLI, can work up to 20 hours per week during academic terms. During scheduled breaks in the school year, such as during winter and summer holidays, students may work full-time. Most students, whether on campus or off campus, do not require a work permit to work while they study. Vancouver and Toronto, the two largest cities, are generally recognized as two of the best places to live in the world. Beyond the major hubs, there is a wide range of positions of options and flexibility, and Canadian institutions are regarded for providing high-quality education in banking, finance, aviation, the arts, and business. What distinguishes Canadian tertiary education from others is that students often learn from professional workers as well as lecturers, allowing them to obtain a practical and vocational education with applied work training. Canadian education system. Primary, secondary, and university education are all part of the Canadian educational system. K-12, which stands for kindergarten to grade 12, is the abbreviation for primary and secondary education. In North America, tertiary education, also known as post-secondary education, is obtained through universities, colleges, and vocational institutions, where students can receive undergraduate and postgraduate degrees, diplomas, and certificates. Primary and secondary K-12 education. From kindergarten through grade 12, all Canadians are entitled to free education. Except in Quebec, where students obtain their secondary school diploma after grade 11. Grade 12 signifies the end of secondary education. In Canada, public education is highly appreciated. Although private schools and residential schools exist, public schools are attended by almost 95% of Canadian students, who typically score well in international student exams. Many international students begin their education in Canada at a secondary school, which typically begins in grade 9 and is also known as a high school. Post-secondary or tertiary education. Students can pursue post-secondary education after completing secondary or high school, which includes certificate, diploma, and degree programs at an undergraduate and graduate levels. Public and private vocational schools, CEGEPs, colleges, and universities all offer post-secondary education. Designated learning institutes are post-secondary educations that have been approved to welcome overseas students. Types of post-secondary institutions. The term college and university are often interchanged in several regions of the world to refer to all post-secondary education. In Canada, the two are substantially different in terms of program offerings, requirements, and teaching styles, while some overlap is emerging between college and university degree offerings. Universities. Over 15,000 undergraduate or bachelor's and graduate, master's, and PhD degree programs are available in Canada's over 90 universities. Universities offer a well-rounded educational experience that includes both theoretical and practical components. Undergraduate, bachelor's university programs are typically 3 or 4 years long due to the extensive curriculum. A bachelor's degree is usually necessary for admission to professional schools like medicine or law, as well as academic and research-based employment. A bachelor's degree is also required to pursue any postgraduate degrees, which can include course-based or research-based master's degrees, followed by a PhD, which is the highest level of academic standing individuals can obtain. Colleges. Colleges in Canada place a strong emphasis on career-oriented practical and technical education. Smaller class sizes and a lower student-to-instructor ratio allow professors to give more customized attention and provide more practical or hands-on learning opportunities. A diploma is traditionally awarded to students who complete a college program, while some universities are now recognized to offer degree programs that combine hands-on technical training with academic coursework. University alternatives. For many years, universities have been the default choice for post-secondary education. However, a rising number of Canadian and international students are choosing college as a standalone alternative or to augment their university study. In 2017, 40% of overseas students in Canada were enrolled in colleges, with the remaining 2% studying at CEGEP Quebec and other vocational institutions. CEGEPs. CEGEP is for College d'Enseignement Général et Professionnel, which translates to General and Vocational College, and is a type of post-secondary institution found solely in Quebec. A CEGEP provides pre-university and technical programs that accumulate to a diploma of college studies, which is equivalent to the 12th grade and the first year of university studies. CEGEP completion is required for students in Quebec to be admitted to Year 2 of 4 of Quebec universities. Vocational schools. Vocational schools, also known as vocational, technical, and trade schools, provide occupation-specific programs aimed at assisting students in transitioning from school to their desired vocations. These programs can last anything from a few months to 2 years and often include work, medical aiding, automobile repair, flight training, culinary arts, and computer support are all examples of vocational training programs. These credentials are not the same as college diplomas, despite the fact that vocational institutions sometimes refer to them as career diplomas. Designated learning institutions. It is highly recommended you check whether an institution is a designated learning institution, DLI, before choosing where and what to study. The government has given DLIs permission to provide international students with a letter of acceptance, allowing them to apply for a study permit. Also, only DLI students are permitted to work throughout their studies. Students are also only eligible for the Postgraduate Work Permit (PGWP) if they graduate from the approved list of DLI programs, which then enables students to work and stay in Canada after graduation. Program types and designations. The designation conferred following successful completion of an academic program is determined by the program's nature and the type of post-secondary institution. Degrees, diplomas, and certificates are all available in the Canadian post-secondary education system. Following the completion of an academic program, universities often issue degrees. After 4 years of full-time study, bachelor's degrees are awarded. Some 3-year bachelor's and 2 years associate bachelor degrees are available in Canada, albeit they are unusual. Master's degrees are normally 1 to 2 years in length and are available following a bachelor's degree for further specialization in a particular subject. They could be course-based, such as an MBA, or research-based, such as a master's thesis. Doctorate or PhD programs are usually research-based, and students must have identified a research superior at the university to which they are applying. A PhD takes 3 to 7 years to complete and cannot be undertaken without first earning a master's degree. Diplomas are received after completing a college program and can be classified into one of 3 categories. A regular diploma is awarded after a 2-year accredited program. After completing a 3-year program, an advanced diploma is awarded. 1 to 2 year postgraduate diplomas can be undertaken after completing a regular, advanced diploma, or a bachelor's degree. Certificates are given out after short courses in a specific subject are completed. Certificate programs usually last less than a year and can be found at universities, colleges, and vocational schools. Levels of post-secondary education. Undergraduate UG and postgraduate PG studies are both part of post-secondary education. Undergraduate studies are the first level of post-secondary education that students must complete before moving on to master's, doctoral, and postgraduate degrees and certifications. Universities. Class size. In introductory courses, class sizes are typically large, ranging from 100 to 500 people. Teaching style and learning style. Large lecture halls are often supplemented by smaller tutoring sessions. Curriculum focus. Independent work academic programs with a diverse curriculum. Faculty credentials. Some industry professionals and academic researchers, PhDs. Program type. Bachelor's, master's, and PhD degree programs are available. Duration. 3 to 4 years, usually 4 years. Annual tuition fees. Fees vary per program. In general, they are more expensive than college fees. Colleges. Class size. Class sizes are smaller. Teaching and learning style. Small class sizes and hands-on learning. Curriculum focus. Programs that are career-oriented and practical, with coursework in the selected field. Faculty credentials. Professionals in the industry with several years of expertise in their respective fields. Program types. Certificates and diplomas are available in 3 levels: regular, advanced, and postgraduate. Duration: 1 to 3 years. Annual tuition fees. Fees vary per program. In general, they are less expensive than university fees. Flexible study pathways. The flexibility that the Canadian education system provides students is one of its great attributes. Students can tailor their education to their interests, job ambitions, and learning preferences by combining their previous education with various degree, diploma, and certificate programs offered by various Canadian post-secondary institutions. Many students, for example, choose to attend college first and receive a diploma before pursuing a bachelor's degree at a university. As they find new interests and strengths, students may switch from one program to another at the same school or even transfer to a different institution entirely. Students often combine their bachelor's degree with a postgraduate diploma to get more hands-on, industry-focused experience in their chosen subject. Students can easily transfer between different levels and types of study since post-secondary institutions in Canada have a close relationship. To put it in another way, courses completed at one school are recognized by the other, guaranteeing that the student does not repeat the same courses. Pathway programs. Students can aspire to study in Canada must first complete prerequisite or preparatory program in order to meet the entry requirements for the degree or diploma program they plan to pursue. Pathway program is what it's called. Pathway programs bridge the gap between a student's home country qualifications and the level required to enroll in a post-secondary institution in Canada. English language pathway programs. The most prevalent form of pathway program pursued by students wishing to study in Canada is English language programs. The language programs are designed to help students improve their language skills to the level required for acceptance into their selected school program. These programs also have a social component, which includes events and activities that help students become acquainted with Canadian culture and make a smooth transition to living in Canada. Many colleges and universities in Canada have their own English language institutions which offer English language courses. Students who successfully complete these programs and meet the academic requirements may enroll in academic programs at those colleges or universities. In some situations, students can apply for admission to both the language program and their academic degree at the same time. This will receive a conditional offer of admission if they meet the academic admission criteria, which is based on them successfully completing the language program. This is an excellent approach for students to ensure that they will be able to study at their chosen post-secondary institution before enrolling in its language program. Academic pathway programs. Academic route programs concentrate on academic disciplines, providing students with basic courses in math, science, business, the arts, and other areas in order to strengthen their subject knowledge and complete prerequisite course requirements for undergraduate and graduate entry. Application requirements and deadlines. Admission requirements differ depending on the program and the school. Requirements for the same applications can change over the years as well. Admission into a K-12 school. At any degree level, international students can enroll in public and private K-12 institutions. To be considered for admission, applicants must submit their most recent transcript or school cards, as well as letters of recommendation. Admission into a post-secondary institution. Students applying to post-secondary institutions in Canada are often evaluated based on their previous academic record as well as their English language skills. Some programs also ask for additional information from students, such as a resume, in order to further analyze a student's fit for the program before making an admission decision. Academic requirements. In Canada, graduation from high school is required for admission to an undergraduate degree. In the context of Canada, this means that a student must have finished grade 12 or an equivalent. Admission to postgraduate degree programs, on the other hand, require a 3 or 4-year bachelor's degree. Admission to a postgraduate diploma or certificate program requires only a regular or advanced diploma. If the student has mitigating circumstances, certain universities may accept work experience as a substitute for the needed degree. Grade point average, GPA. Students will be required to produce confirmation of degree or diploma completion, as well as a transcript or report card detailing their grades in each subject. Only the student's grades from the final 2 years of study are usually taken into account for admission. The academic admission criteria are determined by a student's final grade point average, or GPA, as well as the kind of courses attended. Depending on the curriculum and the institution, GPA requirements range from 65% to 90%. Prerequisite courses. Some post-secondary academic programs demand that students have completed similar grade 12 courses in related topics. Students applying to engineering schools, for example, are usually required to have completed math and physics courses at the grade 12 level. Prerequisite course requirements differ depending on the program and school. English language requirements. Because English is the primary language of teaching in Canadian post-secondary institutions, with the exception of Quebec, students coming from non-English speaking countries must take an English language test as part of their admission application. Students' reading, listening, speaking, and writing abilities are assessed using standardized English language assessments. Scores from the English Language Testing Assessment, IELTS, and the Testing of English as a Foreign Language, TOEFL, are accepted as proof of language proficiency by all Canadian institutions. Other approved language assessment institutes' test scores may be accepted by some Canadian post-secondary institutions. The requirement for language exam scores differ by program and institution, as well as by the student's native country. Some universities just consider aggregate scores, while others set cutoffs for each of the 4 skill areas. For admission consideration, students typically need IELTS scores of 6.5, 7 for some postgraduate programs, or TOEFL IBT scores of 70 to 90. Some schools additionally allow students to complete an English language program in order to meet the language requirements for their selected program. French language proficiency. Students who seek to attend a school where French is the primary language of teaching must demonstrate their ability to communicate in the French language. The most widely used French language tests are the Test d'évaluation du français, TEF, and the Test de connaissance du français, TCF. Supplementary requirements. Students may be required to submit additional non-academic documentation or test scores to support their entrance application, depending on the nature of the program. Personal statements, essays, resume, GRE, GMAT scores, and other documents may be included. Before submitting an application, be sure it meets all of the program's requirements. Applications may be rejected if certain papers are lacking. A resume is often requested in programs with an employment component. For competitive undergraduate and professional programs, personal statements and/or essays are typically required. Many post-secondary programs demand a GRE or GMAT exam result as part of the admission process. Application deadlines. Admissions are normally provided in the fall, September, winter, January, and summer, June in Canada. September is the official start of the school year, and it is also when most students enroll. Many programs only accept applications in the fall. Every 1 to 2 months, new classes begin at private colleges and vocational schools. As a result, students can apply to start school at any time during the year. The deadlines for these applications vary by institution and program. Some colleges and universities offer rolling admission seasons, with classes commencing every 1 to 2 months. And not only that, many colleges and universities provide rolling admission, which means that the applications are processed as they are received, and applications close once the number of available slots are filled. Rolling admissions refers to colleges that assess applications and make admission choices as they come in, whereas other schools only make admission decisions after the application deadline. Application processing times. When it comes to application deadlines, we encourage that students apply as soon as possible to ensure that they have enough time to obtain a study permit and visa. After the application deadline, schools can take up to 60 days to complete an application and issue a letter of acceptance, an LOA, which is required to apply for a study permit. Study permit. A study permit allows foreign nationals to study in Canada at designated learning institutions, DLIs. To study in Canada, the majority of foreign nationals require a study permit. A study permit is not the same as a visa. It isn't a travel document. Your permit lets you study in Canada, but you may also need a visitor visa, temporary resident visa, or an electronic travel authorization, an ETA, to enter Canada. If your study permit is approved, you will get either a visitor visa or an ETA. Depending on which document you need, this documentation will let you enter Canada. A study permit normally lasts the duration of your program plus an additional 90 days. You have 90 days to prepare to depart Canada or to request for a stay extension. Also note the following. If you're taking prerequisite courses, if your school requires you to attend courses before being accepted into the main program, conditional admission, your study permit will be valid for the duration of those courses plus an additional year. You must apply to extend your stay as a student after being accepted into the main program, if you'll finish your studies after the study permit expires. If you do not complete your courses by the deadline on your permit, you must request to extend your student visa. You'll have to stop studies and leave Canada if you do not comply. If you finish your studies before your study permit expires. If you complete your studies early, your permit will expire 90 days after you complete them, regardless of the date indicated on the study permit. You've finished your studies when your school sends you a completion letter, transcript, degree, or diploma for the first time. You must show proof of the date your school notified you or the date your degree, diploma, or certificate was received. If you don't have proof, the document's earliest issuance date will be used. This date may be confirmed with your school. All Canadians are entitled to free education from kindergarten to grade 12 or kindergarten to CEGEP in Quebec. The children of international students are usually allowed to do so as well. If a student is traveling with a spouse or children, the Canadian government will want more solid evidence of finances. This is because, while an overseas student spouse can typically obtain a work permit, the Canadian government cannot ensure that the spouse will work and make money. If you want to study in Canada, make sure you have an acceptance letter from a recognized learning institution before applying for a study permit. Any learning institution that has been approved by provincial or territorial government is referred to as a DLI. According to Canada's current regulations, study permits are only granted to candidates who have been accepted into the DLI designated study program. If you plan to attend a post-secondary institution after grade 12, you should check the Government of Canada's list to ensure that the institution you want to attend is on the list. Consider the Post-Graduation Work Permit, PGWP program after graduation. If you want to stay in Canada after finishing your education and job, you can apply for a Postgraduate Work Permit or PGWP. After graduating from a DLI, students can apply for an open work visa through the PGWP. This will also improve students' prospects of obtaining permanent residency after getting Canadian job experience. However, not all DLIs entitle a student to participate in a PGWP. As a result, make sure the program you apply to can provide you PGWP eligibility so you can stay in Canada and work when you finish your studies. If your DLI does not qualify you for a PGWP, you are allowed to work after completing your program of study while waiting for a decision on your PGWP application. For a PGWP, you must meet all of the eligibility requirements. One of the prerequisites is that you stay at the DLI for at least 8 months. If you have previously received a PGWP, studied English, or French as a secondary language and have not completed any other certificate, diploma, or degree, been funded by Global Affairs Canada, or completed the majority of a program through distance learning, you are not eligible for a PGWP. When planning to study in Canada, it is important to determine the correct designated learning institution. This will ensure your eligibility for a PGWP as your other alternatives for pursuing permanent resident status. Canada, the world's second largest country by landmass, provides international students with a wide range of possibilities. There is something for everyone, from classical universities to modern institutions, small settlements to global cities. After receiving an offer at admission and paying their tuition deposit, students can apply for their study visa. Online applications are accepted, however, paper applications are also accepted and can be filled via Visa Application Centers, VACs, or the Canadian Consulate in the student's home country. Students must submit the following information as part of their application: a letter stating their reasons for wanting to study in Canada, documentation demonstrating their financial ability to sustain themselves and their study in Canada. The procedure for obtaining a study permit. To receive a study permit, students must complete the following steps: gather all of the required documents for the application, submit the application together with all relative attachments. This application is not complete until the application cost has been paid. Biometrics should be provided. After submitting their applications, students will get a letter with instructions on when and how to provide their biometrics. After the application has been reviewed, students may be required to attend an in-person interview and/or send any further evidence that may be requested. Once the student's application is approved, the visa office will send them a letter of introduction, LOI. This letter certifies that the study program has been approved. The amount of time it takes to process a study permit application varies depending on the country, the type of application, and the number of applications received. It is recommended applying 90 to 120 days before the start of the academic session to allow any administrative delays and to guarantee that the student has enough time to reapply for the permission if their initial application is denied. Rejection of applications. If the student's study permit application is denied, they will receive a letter informing them of the decision as well as an explanation of why the visa was denied. Students are encouraged to address the reasons behind their rejection and, if possible, reapply. Usual rejection reasons include: there is a lack of evidence that state the student has sufficient funds to support himself while studying in Canada. Failure to convince the visa officer that your primary reason for visiting Canada is to study. Failure to satisfy the immigration officer that the student would leave after the study period is completed. Student Direct Stream, SDS. The Student Direct Stream, SDS, is an expedited study permit processing program for students from specific countries who can demonstrate that they have the financial resources and language abilities to succeed academically in Canada. The SDS program is currently available to legal residents who also reside in China, India, Pakistan, Philippines, Vietnam, Senegal, and Morocco. Students applying through the SDS stream must provide the following documentation with their application: proof of a language test result from IELTS or TEF for French, proof of guaranteed investment certificate GIC or 10,000 Canadian dollars, proof of full payment of tuition for the applicant's first year of study, letter of acceptance from a post-secondary DLI, most recent secondary or post-secondary educational transcripts, and proof of completion of upfront medical examination. Financial costs. International education can be costly, even if it is a worthy long-term investment. It is vital for students to be aware of all living expenses and to budget effectively in order to ensure that they have the financial resources to complete their study. According to Statistics Canada, the average yearly tuition fees for international students was $27,159 Canadian dollars for undergraduate students and $16,497 Canadian dollars for graduate students for the academic year of 2018 to 2019. The cost of tuition varies substantially depending on the topic of study and the academic institution. Annual expenses for professional programs such as dentistry and veterinary medicine range from around $20,000 to $60,000 Canadian dollars at the undergraduate level. Annual tuition rates for graduate education can range from $10,000 to $50,000 Canadian dollars for an executive MBA. Students must pay for books, housing, food, and other day-to-day living expenses in addition to tuition. The cost of living in a large metropolitan area is normally higher, but it also depends on the student's lifestyle, lodging preferences, and spending habits. The following is an average breakdown of the costs. Off-campus expenditures are based on the student living independently. Off-campus lodging might be shared with other students to save money. The cost of books and supplies varies by program. At on-campus residences, utilities and internet are included and available. If a student lives on campus, transportation is not required on a daily basis because residents are within walking distance of the campus and its classrooms. When it comes to eating, some institutions ask students to purchase a meal plan. Financial assistance. Scholarships, bursaries, and loans are some of the financial aid options accessible to international students looking to finance their studies in Canada. Scholarships. Through a competitive application process, scholarships are granted to students who have excelled academically. When applying for admission, students can apply for scholarships at their preferred colleges. Many scholarships have early application deadlines. Therefore, we strongly advise looking for them early in the admissions process. Most post-secondary institutions additionally provide students with good GPAs with automatic admittance scholarships. Students can verify their eligibility for scholarships, bursaries, and financial help by going to the institution's website. International students can apply for a variety of scholarships offered by the Government of Canada and affiliated government entities. Students can also apply for scholarships from their native country, but they should do their study ahead of time to avoid missing any deadlines. Bursaries are available from post-secondary institutions to students who can demonstrate financial necessity. To demonstrate financial need, students normally must submit an application with financial facts. Loans. International students can apply for student loans in the form of a student line of credit, an LOC, from financial institutions in Canada. The interest rate on an LOC is usually lower than on a standard credit card, and the credit limit is determined by the student's tuition and level of study. When students are in Canada and enrolled in a full-time post-secondary program, they can apply for an LOC. Working while studying. One of the main reasons international students pick Canada as their study destination is the country's student-friendly job rules. Many international students choose to work while studying in order to supplement their income and get crucial Canadian job experience that will help them advance in their careers. On-campus jobs, off-campus jobs, co-ops, and internships are just a few of the options available to qualifying international students. Students often obtain temporary status in the country where they are studying when they travel abroad to study. Because their student status usually ends when the program concludes, they must return home following graduation. Canada, on the other hand, has programs in place to assist overseas students in gaining job experience in Canada after graduation and, if desired, transitioning to permanent residency and citizenship. For example, a post-graduation work permit, PGWP, allows students who have completed a 2-year or longer degree to stay and work in Canada for up to 3 years. This work experience can also be used to apply for permanent residency in Canada. They are eligible to work in Canada if their study permit does not contain any restrictions. International students can usually work while studying if they are enrolled in a full-time post-secondary program at a designated learning institution for at least 6 months and leading to a degree, diploma, or certificate. During a regular academic session, eligible overseas students can work up to 20 hours per week and full-time during regularly designated breaks between academic periods, such as the summer break. Students cannot begin working before their studies begin and require a work permit to resume employment once their study program ends and their study permit expires. Students are not eligible to work if they are only enrolled in an English or French as a secondary language ESL program, only studying general interest courses, only taking courses required to be accepted into a full-time program, only enrolled as a part-time student. Criteria and standards for eligibility may change over time. For the most up-to-date information on studying and working as an international student in Canada, please visit the Government of Canada website. Working and staying in Canada after graduation. When it comes to picking where to stay after graduation, international students prioritize postgraduate benefits. International students can work in Canada after graduation thanks to Canada's foreign worker rules and postgraduate job programs, giving the country a competitive advantage over other international education destinations. The experience overseas graduates get and the cash they earn from this work is critical in offsetting their family's investment and aiding in the repayment of their student loans. International students may be able to apply for permanent residency in Canada based on their job experience following graduation. Students who have completed relevant programs at designated learning institutions (DLIs) can obtain significant Canadian job experience through the Postgraduate Work Permit (PGWP). Students who complete a 2+ year PGWP eligible academic program can work up to 3 years after completing their study time. Students enrolled in an 8-month to 2-year program can get a PGWP that is valid for the duration of their program. For example, if a student finished a 9-month program, a work visa for up to 9 months may be provided. The qualifications and eligibility criteria for the PGWP are subject to change at any time. For the most up-to-date information, always go to the Government of Canada's website. If a student is not eligible for a postgraduate work permit (PGWP), they still may be eligible to work in Canada by acquiring an open work permit or a work permit particular to a company. International students can use their work experience in Canada to help them gain permanent residency. In reality, overseas students who have graduated and desire to stay in Canada account for 40% of all economic class immigrants recognized by the federal government. Living in Canada. Canada is unquestionably one of the nicest locations to live in the world. However, it, like any other country, has its own set of customs, culture, and ways of doing things that may differ from those of a student's home country and necessitate some studying and acclimating. We've included some information about life in Canada to assist students in planning ahead and adjusting to life in Canada. All of the buildings and offices on the school grounds are referred to as on-campus. Full-time students who have a study permit that allows them to work on or off campus can work on campus. If their study visa does not contain any employment limitations, international students can work part-time in Canada while studying. A co-op placement or internship is a type of work experience that certain study programs offer as part of their curriculum. By obtaining a co-op or intern work visa, international students can take advantage of these work opportunities. It's worth noting that some companies provide unpaid internships as a means to obtain expertise. Students are strongly encouraged to arrange their accommodations prior to their arrival. There are generally 3 options for accommodations: on-campus residence, homestay, and off-campus housing. On-campus resident students can learn about a school's housing options, as well as the application deadline, by visiting the school's website or calling the school directly. To make the transition smoother, many overseas students, as well as out-of-town Canadian students, opt to live in residence during their first year rather than arranging off-campus accommodations. This is a fantastic opportunity for students to meet new people and immerse themselves in Canadian culture in a safe and regulated atmosphere. Students have the option of living with a Canadian family. A professional agency screens the host household. Canada Homestay Network is a well-known organization. There are numerous possibilities available to pupils. Some schools may even collaborate with a designated homestay agency. Students can find out more information on their school's website or by searching Google for name of school and homestay. Students can also rent an apartment or a room outside of school hours. Off-campus housing assistance is a service provided by some schools to assist students in finding a place to live. Students can look for lodging on websites such as Places for Students, Kijiji, or Facebook. Use keywords like name of school, student housing, or name of school, student housing when searching. Transportation is a major consideration when deciding where to reside. If a student plans to live off campus, they should conduct preliminary study to ensure that the journey to and from university will be convenient. Canada's public transportation system is well developed, making it simple for students and other commuters to move around the city. Most towns and cities in Canada have public bus networks, while large cities have rapid transit subway and commuter rapid light rail systems to connect neighboring regions. Many post-secondary institutions provide subsidized monthly transit passes to their students to help defray the expense of transportation. When students arrive on campus, they can purchase a bus pass. The vast network of roads and highways in Canada allows for long-distance car travel between most locations. Driving laws and licenses are administered at the provincial level in Canada. Students from other countries who have a valid driver's license can drive in Canada. The restrictions vary by province, but students with a valid license from their home country can drive in Canada for a limited time. An International Driving Permit (IDP), which permits drivers from one country to drive in other nations, is encouraged. Some jurisdictions allow international students to keep their foreign license during their studies, while others require international students to apply to a provincial license. Students should go to the website of their province's Ministry of Transportation. One or more taxi businesses can be found in every city and municipality. Taxis, on the other hand, can be rather costly. Therefore, they are normally employed only when public transportation is not an option. Uber and Lyft are popular ride-sharing services that are available in many locations of Canada. Because of Canada's vast geography, travelers often fly between major cities and regions. Every major city has an airport with regularly scheduled flights to and from a variety of destinations. Medical insurance plans are available at all Canadian post-secondary schools for international students, as well as their spouses and children if they are in Canada. Some colleges make medical insurance necessary, and the cost of insurance is included in some student fees. Medical insurance is strongly recommended because paying for healthcare out of pocket can quickly become prohibitively expensive. The Canadian dollar is the country's currency, CAD. The dollar is available in a variety of colors and denominations, including $5, which is blue, $10, which is purple, $20 that is green, $50 that is red, and $100 that is gold. Coins in the denominations of 5 cents, nickel, 10 cents dime, 25 cents quarter, $1 loonie, and $2 toonie are also used. Although cash is accepted in practically all situations, debit and credit cards have become the more popular payment method for all transactions due to their convenience. Checks are typically used for substantial sums of money, such as rent and utility payments. In addition to paying bills and doing other transactions, internet banking is often used. Most post-secondary universities also provide tuition and account payment alternatives through online banking. Students can access cash by withdrawing funds from their bank account. Students can withdraw money from any of their bank's branches. Students can speak with a teller, a bank's customer service professional, or use one of the bank's automated teller machines to withdraw money on their own at the bank, an ATM. ATMs are open throughout and after business hours, including weekends and evenings. Students can withdraw money from another bank's ATM or from private ATMs for an additional administrative cost. Private ATMs aren't associated with any bank and can be found in places like restaurants, pubs, petrol stations, and supermarkets. Most Canadian banks have excellent student account options, including some specifically tailored for international students with particular features to assist them save money on international transaction fees and make money management easier. A student can open a bank account by traveling to their favorite bank's location branch and presenting 2 pieces of identification, one with their photo and the other with their address. Royal Bank of Canada, RBC, Toronto Dominion, TD Bank, Bank of Nova Scotia, Bank of Montreal, BMO, and the Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce are the 5 largest banks in Canada, having hundreds of local branches around the country. Online banking organizations such as Tangerine and Simply Financial are also becoming increasingly popular. In Canada, students have access to high-speed internet and cell phone service. Wi-Fi internet is available on all campuses, and students can access it using their college or university email account, which they will create once they enroll. Local service providers can supply high-speed internet to students' homes or apartments if they live off school for a monthly price. Rogers, Bell, TELUS, Shaw, and Cogeco are some of the largest internet service providers. Although the majority of individuals in Canada use a mobile or cell phone as their primary mode of communication, some people still use landlines at home. Students can either carry a cell phone from home or buy one in Canada. In Canada, Apple iPhones, Samsung Galaxy phones, Google Pixel phones, LG, Motorola phones, and Huawei phones are all widely accessible. If a student brings their own device, they can buy a new SIM card and sign up for a Bring Your Own Device BYOD plan from a service provider. When acquiring a new phone, the student has the option of paying for it in full or opting for a BYOD plan or opting for a monthly plan with the service provider's bill. When getting a tab, a fraction of the cost is deducted. Cell phone plans can be purchased online, over the phone, or in person at any of the local retailers. Students must present a government-issued photo ID as well as proof of address. When purchasing a monthly phone plan, a credit check and/or Canadian-issued credit card are often required, but some carriers waive this requirement for special promotional student rates. Prepaid plans, on the other hand, do not require a credit check because students pay in advance, but they must bring their own phone or buy one from the service provider first. Students can acquire prepaid international calling cards or add a long-distance calling and/or long-distance messaging subscription to stay in touch with their relatives overseas. Students can also use internet-based communication tools like Skype, WhatsApp, and Telegram to communicate with one another. Rogers, Bell, TELUS, Fido, Virgin, Kudu, Freedom, and Public Mobile are the major mobile companies in Canada. Before the start of the school year, they all usually offer special back-to-school bargains. There are numerous options on and off campus, ranging from grocery shopping to takeout. Students can readily buy groceries and personal care products in most neighborhoods' grocery stores and supermarkets. Students can also eat and buy at a range of ethnic restaurants, specialized stores, and supermarkets to stock up on their favorite foods and stay in touch with their culture. Canadian cities, like all major areas around the world, provide a diverse selection of entertainment alternatives. Students will discover a variety of activities that fit their interests, no matter where they stay in Canada. Some of the most common student activities include going out to eat, getting a drink, enjoying the outdoors, and seeing a movie. Sports are very popular among Canadians, both to play and to watch. The Toronto Raptors basketball, Toronto Maple Leafs hockey, Montreal Canadiens hockey, Ottawa Senators hockey, Toronto Blue Jays baseball, Vancouver Whitecaps soccer, and Saskatchewan Roughriders soccer are all major professional sports teams in Canada. In Canada, sports teams compete amongst one another at most schools and universities, as well as house leagues where students play against one another from the same institution. Skiing, hiking, and camping are all popular winter and summer sports in Canada. Although Canada is one of the world's most calm and secure countries, unfortunate accidents can occur anywhere. International students should take the same measures as they would anywhere else in the globe when it comes to safety. Here are some safety precautions to remember. In the event of an emergency, dial 911. This is a toll-free number for police, firefighters, and ambulances across Canada. Report any and all incidences to the authorities, no matter how little. Be wary of strangers and keep an eye on your surroundings. Trust your gut and get out of unpleasant circumstances. Avoid walking in secluded locations and stick to well-lit, busy streets. When feasible, take a walk with a friend. Most schools additionally provide campus security and a walk-home service in which students are escorted home by trained students or security guards. Keep your possessions safe. Hundreds of thousands of international students study happily and safely in Canada, which welcomes them with open arms. Regardless, arriving in a foreign country might be stressful. It's also natural to get homesick now and again. On campus, there are numerous tools and events to assist international students in getting to know one another, making friends, and exploring their new city and country. Students should explore their neighborhood and attend local events while remembering to maintain contact with their own culture and family back home, allowing them to enjoy the best of both worlds. For more information, contact us at care@migrationpoint.co. www.migrationpoint.co.